Hi guys, thank you for watching. Welcome to today's video and to my channel if you're new here. My name's Debbie if we've not met before. Today's video, as you know from the title, I'm going to be trying out this palette from Zoeva, which is the Opulence palette. And if you saw yesterday's video, I got this as a gift from my friend for my birthday. And I've never tried Zoeva as a brand for eyeshadow. I've tried one of their highlighter palettes, the Spice of Life palette. That's the only thing that I've tried so far from the brand. Not because I didn't want to use them, I just found that the colour stories were fairly neutral. So perhaps I wouldn't have picked this up if I'm quite honest with you. But now I've got it, I'm quite inspired by it. And it just goes to show, you know, sometimes like my husband will pick up clothes for me that I never would in a million years try on, and then I really love them. So, you know, it's that sort of a thing. It's like people see things differently to you and you know, get you different things, and so I'm quite excited now to try this out. The packaging, just take a moment for the packaging. I said this yesterday, but it's just absolutely beautiful. I love the roses on it and the gold and the black background. It's just stunning. It's a really slim palette as well. It doesn't have a mirror inside, so it's just the same packaging on the inside as the outside, but the packaging is done so well. It just looks beautiful, like how the shape of that circle sort of goes all the way around to where the shadows are. So it's really, really stunning. It will fold all the way back as well, so it'll be super easy to hold up and show you the shades. The only drawback I can see to this palette is that there's only one matte, which is this red shade. So Get Your Glory, that shade there, that is a matte. The rest are all shimmers, or they might be satins. I never swatch my palettes. It's always a surprise to me when I start using them as to what they're going to perform like. But I'm not too worried about it because I think I love red as a crease colour anyway. So I'm going to use that as my crease colour. I'm going to use that shade Golden Years as my deepening shade, because it's really the only shade that I can go sort of deep but in the same sort of neutral realm as the red. And then I think for my lid shade, I'm going to go for this shade, which is called Queen for a Day. I don't mind being queen for a day today, so that's what I'm going to be doing. So just maybe those three shades, and perhaps something on the brow bone, probably High Chair on the brow bone. I love the names of this. It's kind of regal. It's really nice. So, and I'm wearing kind of an outfit, because this is always how I choose my eyeshadow. I put this dress on today and the earrings, and then I was like, this palette really goes with my whole vibe and I like to match, which is really sad I guess, but that's what I do. So I was going to film with the Urban Decay Wired palette today, and I thought, no, that really doesn't match the vibe. That's like too bright and garish, and I want something sort of soft and romantic and pretty. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'll scoot you in and we'll get started. So as I say, we're going to go in with Get Your Glory as a crease shade and kind of build up a kind of shape with that, a mini sort of wing, but not really too much of a wing today. And I've heard great things about the mattes from Zoeva, so I'm excited for this. I'm going to take that shade on my lower lash line just to give me a guide of where I need to come up, because I don't want this look to end up crazy. I want it quite subtle. Need to start practicing some subtle eyeshadow for when I go away with my mum on holiday, where I think my looks tend to attract too much attention. We've been on cruises before and people have come up to me and said they like my eyeshadow, and it really like embarrasses my mum, so I need to tone it down a little bit and just make things super subtle. So I'm going to try for a bit more of a subtle vibe today, but that it will still look interesting and pretty. The brush I'm using is the Morphe 456. It's from that James Charles brush collection from Morphe. I think you can buy it singularly as well. I'm liking it so far because it's one of those, it's quite a scratchy brush, but I don't really mind that. But it's got quite a precise point for a blending brush, which is helping me to keep things under control a little bit. So I'm going to bring my crease shade to about level with like the, I don't know, where my eye starts to dip down. Just going to bring it to there. and then across sort of to my nose because I want quite an open cut crease. So instead of coming down that way, oops, getting it on my nose, I'm going to be coming across, if that makes sense. Already now I love the tone of this shade, it's really, really nice. I think she chose really, really well for me actually. Because my friend is someone that would wear neutral eyeshadows. I have done her makeup once before. I didn't do it neutral, I did it pink and red, but using the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. So it was quite a long time ago that I did it. I did a wing, and I think it was a little bit too much for her in terms of how she would wear her makeup. But it hasn't put her off because she said she wouldn't mind me doing it again. But I find it so difficult doing other people's makeup. It's just not, you're coming from like the totally opposite angle to when you're doing your own. And also, I know my eye shape, I know what works for me, so I think it would be quite difficult being a makeup artist. And also people have got their own ideas of how they want their looks to turn out, I guess. And it's like doing hair or whatever as well. I imagine it's the same thing. You know, you have your idea in your mind that you think the client wants, and probably that's not necessarily translated when they tell you what they want. I know I've done that at the hairdressers before. So I think it would be the same with makeup. Alright, I've got one eye higher than the other, which is a bit unfortunate, so I'm just going to have to make this one a little bit higher. I think we'll be able to get away with it. What I'm aiming to do here really is just to map the shape out before I start getting too intense with the shadows. But now I can start packing on that red a little bit more now because I know how far up I'm going. Love this tone of red. Looks really dramatic right now, but I'm going to be cutting the crease so you won't see very much of that red anyway in the look, but I want to make sure it's high enough that when I cut the crease you can still see it. Where we're going to have the problem here is we don't have a blending out shade, so I'm going to attempt just to blend the edges to make a blending out shade from the red shade that we already have there. So I'm just going to soften these edges with this brush, which is the 506. Which is fast turning into one of my favourite little blending brushes, it's great. Okay, now I'm going to cut the crease in this kind of a shape, so across and leaving this portion open. And I'm going to whiz through the footage for that because you've seen me do a cut crease lots of times, but I've got a new one. I've got a Conceal and Define from Revolution, that's what I like to use to cut my crease, and my cut crease brush from Sigma. So I'm just going to whiz through the process. Right, the crease is cut, it's not too precise, so I'm just going to clean up on the edges with some of that red. Now I'm going to go in with Queen for a Day, and that's going to go over the inner part here. I'm just going to spray this and get a bit more intensity from it. I'm just going to wrap that around my lower lash line. I'm going to go in with the shade Imperial in the centre. That's really, really pretty. Like a rose gold shade, really nice. And where those two meet, I'm just going to try and blend those together just slightly. And then in the outer corner, we're going to use Golden Years and really try and get a bit of intensity in the outer corner. Again, I've needed to spray this to get the colour payoff that I'm looking for. It's quite sheer if you don't. I'm just trying to blend that in now with that red. Just really using that as a deepening shade more than anything. Just going back in with that Rose Gold Imperial shade just to mesh that and the Golden Years shade together. Okay, quickly need to do the same on the other eye, so I'll just whiz through that. For my waterline, I'm going to go in with Urban Decay's Heartless. I want to have a nice light and airy waterline so that it opens up my eyes. Okay, for the lower lash line now, in this outer portion here, I'm going to go in with Golden Years. I'm going to take Imperial in the centre of my lower lash line, and then a lighter shade like maybe this one in the inner corner. So I'm using this really teeny tiny brush because I want to get super close to my lashes, because I don't want to blow this look out too far. Just want to get that little bit of intensity in that corner. I think just in this cut crease part here, just going to intensify that with some glitter. So this one's a heavy metal glitter liner from Urban Decay. It's the shade Starfire. It's only ever so subtle, but it's just adding just a certain something there. And I'm just going to go in with High Chair just for a little bit of a brow bone highlight. Okay, so that's the look to this point. Just going to hop off camera for mascara and lips, and I'll be right back with you to show you the finished look. Okay guys, so here's the finished look for this one. And I've paired it with a Study Kiss lipstick from Kat Von D. This one's in the shade Sanctuary. Could have took it red. If I'd have worn a brighter red, it would have totally changed the look, but I wanted to keep it understated and sort of play with the colours a little bit. And I think it's worked quite well. It's kind of echoing the Golden Years shade a little bit that's in the outer corner. So my thoughts on the palette then, well, could have done with another matte, I'm not going to lie. I think if these two colours here look very similar and these two look very similar. So if I was designing this palette, I think an aubergine kind of coloured matte would have been nice, and maybe a blending out matte, and get rid of, say, those two shades or those two shades, because I think that would allow you a lot more versatility. But having said that, I'm really feeling the look that I've created. I really like the tones of it, and it's something a little bit different from my collection that I don't have, and I'm looking forward to trying the blue and the more cool tones. I think you can get sort of 2 or 3 distinct looks out of this, I would say. Using these colours, you're going to get a very cool tone, as I say, vibe to it. I think even mixing the red crease with the blue could be interesting and very, very dramatic. And then you could get a very everyday appropriate kind of look. You know, just take one of these shimmers on the lid, for example, and just a wing, and you're good to go. But yeah, I really enjoy playing with it actually, and it's just something new for me. The shimmer formula, if you like shimmers that you can see from space, these aren't that. So they are more of a satin. Before I sprayed my brush, they were barely there. So just to let you know, you're going to need to spray your brush with Fix Plus or setting spray of some sort, or pat them over glitter glue. It's what I do for pretty much all of my shimmer shades anyway. But they're not those sort of highly foiled or sparkly shimmers that we've come to know and love from indie brands. So if that's what you're looking for, you'll be disappointed. But I think for what they are, they perform really, really well. You know, they're good quality, they're not flaky. I didn't get any fallout from them. I thought that matte built up really, really well and is such a beautiful tone. You guys know that red is one of my favourite colours to wear, and this is kind of a deeper, sort of more smoky kind of red. Really, really feeling that red shade, and I know I'll be dipping into this palette for that red shade in particular, even if I don't use some of the other shades quite so much. So yeah, I'm really, really happy that I've got it in my collection, and I'm kind of eager to see whether there's any other palettes of theirs that speak to me in terms of colour. I know there's lots of like more caramelly neutral kind of tones, like the Caramel Melange, for example. I've looked, you know, that's the sort of palette that I see come up a lot of theirs, and that's why I hadn't picked anything up. But if they've got other colour stories like this, I could be interested to get some more, because they're really, really affordable. I mean, I think, well, my friend did leave the receipt in there, and it was around about £16 in the sale. I think they're only about 22, 23 at full price. So, you know, for 10 shades of pretty good quality in a really lovely package, it gets the thumbs up from me. So if you were interested in trying Zoeva and you like the colour story, I don't think you'll go wrong. But as I say, just make sure that you're aware what you buy in, that it is more of a satin formula than a high foiled kind of shimmer formula. But the upside of that is that they're quite easy to blend as well. Like, I didn't have too much trouble with the Golden Years shade, used it wet, and then I was able to still blend the Get Your Glory, the red shade, over it and create a blended look with that. So yeah, really enjoyed playing with this one. Hope you enjoyed watching. And if you're new to my channel, I'd love it if you consider subscribing before you go. But other than that, guys, that brings us to the end. I hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.